For an athlete that is looking to lose body fat but maintain or preserve that lean muscle mass, I would recommend a diet that is a calorie deficit, meaning a reduced total energy intake daily. This will, provide this will promote the weight loss. But I will get into the specifics of what the macronutrients are going to look like. So, just as a background, as a male D1 track athlete, with the usual body weight around 160 or 72.7 kilograms. And the current body weight is about 175 due to a 15-pound weight gain. And you are looking to sort of lose that weight in the next month or so when you get back to school and resume your track practices. So goal weight loss would be about 1 pound to 2 pounds per week. This is a sustainable weight loss per week that is healthy and more sustainable as far as maintaining that diet. So for this individual, I would recommend, like I had said, a low energy diet for gradual weight loss. So really consuming a calorie deficit. And I not necessarily put this in the current meal plan, but a time restricted intermittent fasting diet could potentially be something beneficial for this individual because it has been seen to increase fat loss in a shorter period of time, but maintain that lean muscle mass. This isn't a diet that I would recommend as a long-term diet, but something for quick weight loss within the next month. It could be beneficial for this individual. Something like a 16-hour fast and an 8-hour feeding period could potentially be beneficial for this individual. So for the total calories for this person on a average, on a 90 or a 60-minute moderate to high intensity practice, I recommended about 2,300 to 2,500 kcals per day. This is actually a caloric deficit for this individual to, promote that weight loss. So the macronutrients would look like 2.5 to 3.5 grams per kilogram a day, which would equate to about 200 to 250 grams of carbohydrates a day. And that would be about 35 to 45% of your total energy intake coming from carbohydrates. This is considered a lower carbohydrate diet, not considered a ketogenic diet, but it is on the lower scale of total carbohydrates per day. And then for protein, I actually increased that protein up to 1.8 to 2.2 grams per kilogram per day. This is roughly double to triple what the RDA states, which is about 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. And I'll talk about why that is beneficial for this individual as well, and for what their goals are. This is about 140 to 160 grams of protein, and about 25% of total energy is coming from protein intake. And then lastly, the fat is sort of, a maintained, consistent grams per kilogram of 0.8 to 1.2 grams per kilogram per day, which is about 65 to 85 grams of fat per day, and 25 to 30% of total energy from fat. So going through some of the specifics and why I chose these macronutrients for this individual. Well, for the kcals, just start off, like I had said, an overall reduction in calories is going to promote that sustainable weight loss while preserving lean mass. So like I had said, the goal is to lose about 1 to 2 pounds per week. And then for the lower carbohydrate intake, which can be defined as less than 45% of carbohydrates or less than 200 grams per day. This is because there's no defined answer for a low carbohydrate diet, no universal and like range. However, the normal ranges for carbohydrate intake that are recommended are about 45 to 65% of your daily calories. Therefore, anything less than 45% can sort of be deemed a lower carbohydrate diet. I didn't want to go too low because they are a track athlete, so they still do need that energy coming in from carbohydrates. However, a lower intake will help them to lose that weight alongside, with their exercise, which will help with that. So we also have an increased protein intake and specifically double to triple the RDA of 0.8 grams per kilogram. The higher protein intake coupled with that lower carbohydrate seems to play this significant role in weight loss during a hypocaloric diet. Some additional benefits of increased protein. Protein has a greater thermic effect than other macronutrients, which has been shown to preserve the resting energy expenditure. And it also is more satiating, meaning that it will keep the individual full and satisfied for a longer amount of time, which in turn will increase their total calories and prevent them from continuing to eat. So that's the benefits of a high protein and sort of a low to moderate carbohydrate intake. Fat stayed pretty constant for the most part, just to make sure that they are still getting energy and calories. A very low fat diet really doesn't have a lot of research to back it up, so I didn't do too much with the fat. So as far as the meal plan goes for this individual, I set it up as 3 meals a day with 3 snacks a day. So for meal 1, we have an egg white scramble, roughly about 4 eggs with a half a cup of cooked rice, sliced green peppers, which can go in the egg mixture or they can be eaten raw. I put ketchup just as like a condiment on the side. Hot sauce or whatever is preferred can be swapped in for that. Blueberries, a half cup of blueberries, and some black coffee for caffeine and an energy booster for the 60 minutes of practice. And then for snack number 1, which I am just going to assume that is post training session, I have a sliced apple, 1 medium sliced apple, and Greek yogurt with cinnamon, maybe some honey, plain Greek yogurt. This is a good mixture of carbohydrates and protein. This is about 34 grams of carbs and 22 grams of protein. So this is replenishing glycogen stores and preventing and promoting muscle synthesis, protein synthesis. Meal number 2 is a taco salad. I went with this because it is, it's easy to modify it as a lower carb, higher protein meal. So we have romaine lettuce, iceberg lettuce, ground turkey, cooked rice, black beans, salsa, plain Greek yogurt for like a sour cream because it's higher in protein content, and then some shredded cheese to go on it. The carbohydrates were 66 carbs, 95 grams of fat, and 51 grams of protein. And then for snack number 2, I did baby carrots with hummus, so a good mixture of carbs and protein, as well as mixed nuts, like about a quarter cup, something like that, just to, meet the needs of the total requirements at the end of the day. And then for meal number 3, we have 8 ounces of grilled chicken, which seems like a heck of a lot because 4 ounces is the recommendation for protein for a meal. However, we do want to increase that protein intake. So I jumped up to 8 ounces of grilled chicken, a baked sweet potato, corn on the cob with some butter, and grilled zucchini. And then lastly, for snack number 3, we have celery sticks with peanut butter. I was sort of running out of room for carbs and protein, so I did something that sort of low carb, um, and some peanut butter to get that fat in. The total calories for the end of the day equated to about 2,300 kcals, 349 grams of carbs, 88 grams of fat, and 164 grams of protein. So that is what I assigned for this individual for their meal plan for the 60-minute moderate to high intensity practice.